Hello and welcome to another story recap video. If you're new to my channel, then I'm a guy who plays video games, then ruins them for other people on YouTube. In this video, I will tell you exactly what happens in Assassin's Creed Rogue in case you need a reminder or you've never ever played the game and perhaps want to skip it on your way to another AC game. This isn't a review, but it's worth noting that this is actually a pretty good game, and one of my personal favourites in the series. So the events of this game take place between Assassin's Creed Black Flag and Assassin's Creed Unity. Grab your snacks and your bottle of rum, and let's go. The game begins in the North Atlantic. We are Shay Patrick Cormac, an Irish newly recruited assassin belonging to the colonial branch of Assassins, which is led by Achilles Davenport, who features in Assassin's Creed 3. It's also the branch of Assassins that Connor Kenway will one day lead. While training under the eyes of his mentor Achilles, Shay notices Adewale arrive at the Davenport homestead. Shay, who recently played Assassin's Creed Black Flag on PS4, recognises Adewale from this game. Adewale arrives bearing bad news, which Achilles relays to us. It would appear that the Templars, the sworn enemies of the Assassins, have stolen two important artifacts in the Creed's ongoing obsession with precursor sites and relics. Please note, if this is sounding very confusing, then you might need to research into the wider story of Assassin's Creed. I'm narrating this video assuming you know about the Templar-Assassin conflict. If you don't, essentially, the Templars and Assassins have been at war throughout human history. Both factions seek these mystical and powerful items and sites left behind by our pre-human ancestors. It's a battle of ideals. Assassins believe in freedom and free will, whereas Templars believe in order and control. If you're still confused, there are plenty of very good articles out there which can help you. The items lost are a manuscript of ancient wisdom and a box that allows one to understand it. Achilles tasks Shay with recovering said items. Along with fellow assassins Chevalier and Liam, we meet Le Chasseur. The man informs us that he has seen the manuscript and that it's said to be in the hands of a man named Washington, whom Shay recognises.
I know that name. He's an important Templar, isn't he?
Shay arrives at Lawrence Washington's residence and sees him talking to his younger brother George. Yes, that's George Washington. Lawrence appears to be a sickly man, near death as it is. He converses with some other people, whom we assume are Templars, before they depart. After this, Shay swoops in and kills Washington. During his dying moments, Washington claims that Shay has done him a favour by giving him an easy death instead of dying slowly from his illness. And in the time that Shay took to kill him, his colleagues have escaped, presumably with the manuscript. Due to a glitch in the Animus, which again I'm going to assume you know, essentially it's the technology that links the Assassin's Creed modern day story to the old one. We jump forward a few months. Shay and Liam have seemingly tracked down the box, which is in the hands of a Templar named Smith. Shay predictably kills Smith and retrieves the item. In conversation with Liam and fellow assassin Hope Jensen, we learn that James Wardrop, a Templar who has assumed the role of Washington, now has the manuscript. On the trail of Wardrop, we spot another Templar, William Johnson, talking to Benjamin Franklin. Yes, that Benjamin Franklin. It appears that the Templar have enlisted his services to help them try and understand the manuscript. Shay finds and kills Wardrop, retrieving the manuscript in the process. By the way, if you're new to Assassin's Creed games, this is essentially how they work. There's lots of finding and then killing. Wardrop spouts some ideological nonsense about the Templar Order, which for a moment seems to strike an accord with Shay before he shuts him down and leaves him to his death. Shay manages to befriend Benjamin Franklin, and with the help of Hope, the trio harness the weather to unlock the secrets of the manuscript, which appears to be a map. The location of the map appears to be Portugal, and Shay sets off on an all-expenses-paid trip to Lisbon. It's alright for some. After a few pina coladas on the beach, Shay gets to work and finds the Piece of Eden, which is one of said mystical and powerful relics that the Templars and assassins are seeking. However, touching the item seems to cause an earthquake. Shay desperately flees to his ship while the stunning city of Lisbon and its people crumble behind him. When back on his ship, Shay overlooks the ruined city with sadness. When returning, Shay furiously confronts Achilles, blaming him for the destruction of Lisbon and the death of innocents.
You made me slaughter innocents!
How dare you!
We learn through this conversation that a similar thing happened a few months ago in Haiti. Later that night, attempting to stop anyone finding more relics and potentially causing more earthquakes, Shay steals the manuscript from Achilles' room. He is pursued by his allies before sadly running out of land. After explaining his actions, he attempts to jump before being shot mid-air. Sometime later, through animus glitches, we see Shay seemingly being saved. We come around and wake up heavily injured and in the home of a sweet couple, Cassidy and... I forget her husband's name.
Barry!
Ah, yes, that's it. The old couple hand us some clothes which once belonged to their son. Upon wearing the clothes, I can't help but notice that they look a little bit Templar-y. Shay, however, doesn't seem to notice and sets off to find the manuscript once again, which he believes was lost at the bottom of the ocean when he was shot. During our travels, Shay meets and befriends a Colonel George Monroe, who I think, looks a bit Templar-y. Are you seeing where I'm going here? We begin to help Monroe bring order to New York by dealing with some thugs. We also help his friend Christopher Gist out of captivity. We taxi Gist back to Monroe. Shay, initially with the intention of going his own way afterwards, is pulled into the duo's conversation. They tell tale of an enemy being based nearby. Shay, wanting to be a good guy and save innocent lives, likely due to his guilt from the events of Portugal, agrees to help. During the conflict, Shay fights and kills Le Chasseur, our ally from earlier in the game. He explains he was ordered to deliver poisonous gases which were to be used against the local authorities. Shay, again fearing for innocents, destroys the facility, making the poisonous gas that Le Chasseur mentioned. Alongside Gist and Monroe, we marvel at our destruction before being introduced to... Hold on. Shay, those dudes are from earlier. I'm 99% sure that they are Templars. Get the fuck out of there. Alas, Shay shakes their hand, and for the first time in Assassin's Creed history, bar a small part of Assassin's Creed 3, we actually switch sides and play from the point of view of the Templars. God, I feel so naughty. Sometime later, we are sent a gift by Colonel Monroe. The gift appears to be the sought-after manuscript, which we feared was lost. Monroe had actually retrieved the book from Shay's body when they found him marooned. After finding Shay, he then decided to leave us in the custody of Cassidy and,
Barry!
Yes, Cassidy and Barry to look after while he recovered. The Grand Master of the Templar Order charged Monroe with finding out its meaning and understanding it, a task in which Monroe has failed and so passes the quest on to Shay. During our mission, we encounter Kesagawase, an assassin who reveals his surprise at finding Shay alive, suggesting the assassins assume he is dead. Outnumbered, Shay and his men are forced to flee, leaving Kesagawase alive but injured. Fearing he will now be a target for the assassins, Shay hands the manuscript back to Monroe before we hear news that Kesagawase is attacking Albany. We join the fight and this time kill our former ally, fully embracing the dark side. Kesagawase, however, explains that Monroe is already dead, suggesting at the hands of our friend Liam. We find Monroe engulfed in flames and carry him out of the burning building. Monroe explains that an assassin took the manuscript, which Shay assumes is Liam. Sadly for Monroe, his wounds are too great and he dies before handing us his Templar Order ring. With a space now at the table, we go full Anakin Skywalker and are officially inducted into the Templar Order. The Master Templar is none other than Haytham Kenway, son of Black Flag's Edward Kenway and father to Assassin's Creed 3's Connor Kenway. Okay, brace yourself. I'm going to mention the modern day storyline. If you're new to these games, there has always been an ongoing modern day storyline. Initially, it was interesting in the early games, then they pointlessly killed off the main character, and now, well, it's a bit of a mess. But we are pulled out of the Animus and introduced to Otso Berg, a high-ranking modern-day Templar who is clearly using us and our Animus exploits to try and find the same knowledge as Shay was seeking back in the day. A virus affecting the Abstergo building means the Animus is being a little bit glitchy. Therefore, when we re-enter, we are thrown forward in time. We find Shay in France with Benjamin Franklin. Shay asks for a favour, helping him gain access to the royal palace. What could Shay be up to? Back on the original timeline, we are introduced to Captain James Cook. Yes, that Captain James Cook. Captain Cook tells us that he has located Adewale, the assassin which Kenway and co seek. After a fight with Adewale, Shay is victorious and kills the lovable Assassin's Creed Black Flag pirates. Adewale claims it matters not, for Achilles has found a way to make the precursor box work. We track down the box, which is in the hands of Hope and Liam. Liam sets off to the next location while we are confronted by Hope. We begrudgingly kill our former ally and friend, who explains that her sacrifice has allowed Liam and Chevalier time to go to the precursor site. And I think, well, actually Hope, I'm playing on easy difficulty, so it actually only really took me 30 seconds, but, whatever. With the help of Captain Cook, we track down Chevalier, who explains that he too is another distraction, and Liam and Achilles have headed north. We send the Frenchman for a swim before setting off on our next target. We arrive in an anonymous location described as the Far North. Believing this to be the precursor site, Haytham accompanies us as we track down Liam and Achilles. We find our former mentor and friend and have a heated Templar versus Assassins ideological debate. Shay attempts to convince the duo to not meddle with the relic, fearing it'll cause more destruction, which, let's be fair, is fair. However, during the scuffle, Liam accidentally dislodges it. This causes, you guessed it, another earthquake. During the escape, Liam and Shay fall from an eroding cliff, with Liam's wounds being terminal. He says, Shay, you were the chosen one. You were supposed to destroy the Templars, not join them, or something similar, before dying. We find Haytham with a bested Achilles. Haytham seems intent on killing him, but Shay begs for mercy, saying that Achilles is nothing now, all of his assassins are dead, and he should be left alive to warn others what would happen if they meddle in precursor sites, having witnessed it firsthand. Haytham reluctantly agrees, not knowing that this will prove to be a significant choice in the events of Assassin's Creed 3. He does, however, shoot Achilles in the leg, which explains his lack of mobility in the later game. Upon leaving, Haytham tells Shay that he still wants that box, and it will be his lifetime task to find it. In the modern day, we upload our findings to a special server, as requested by Otso Berg. After the upload, we intercept a strand of messages from modern-day assassins warning others of a modern-day purge against them. We're asked to jump back in the Animus for one final mission, and we find ourselves back in France with Benjamin Franklin. With his help, we get inside the royal palace. We see Shay tracking a man accompanied by a small boy. The man is Charles Dorian, and the boy is Arno Dorian, the playable character of the next game, Assassin's Creed Unity. Shay finds and assassinates Charles Dorian, who teases Shay over the events of Assassin's Creed 3. Shay retrieves a box which is presumed to have been the precursor box that he has been seeking all these years before leaving. The final scene of this game acts as the very first scene of Assassin's Creed Unity. And that is what happens in Assassin's Creed Rogue. For more videos like this, then please do hit subscribe. Thank you.